This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Thunderhawk, part of the M.A.S.K series of toys from the Loyal Subjects. Now, as Ken from Retro Toy Escapades has said, they're using the box art style from the, I believe, European release of the figures, which didn't show any of the weapons going off. So now that I think about it, that's kind of disappointing, but when you see all the different languages here, it's probably why they did it, was so that they can use the same box all over the world rather than just, having to create a new box for other places. But again, the front has artwork on it. The top gives us a brief appearance of what it can do. The side shows, well, the figure fitting in there, which, yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. And then we see the special effects attachments to the vehicle, including a new disc launcher, which is new. And the back shows us a product shot, which honestly looks like a product rendering. And he comes with the Spectrum mask. Okay, I had a brain fart. Did the other ones actually say what masks they were? Because I don't remember him actually saying that. Or at least I don't remember Brad Turner's saying that at any rate. Oh yeah, there's something at the bottom of the box too. Shows how the little guns pop out and the rear stabilizer, as well as the missile launcher. Let's go ahead and open this thing up and take a quick look at it. Honest to God, the cardboard in those boxes feels super cheap to me. I don't think I've mentioned that before, but they feel really bad. Instructions and stickers. For a moment there, I thought they weren't included. Here's the car. We'll just plop everything out. Well, almost everything. Let's go ahead and start this one out by taking a look at Matt Tracker here. Well, he looks pretty good, figure-wise. Alright, so he's got a nice face sculpt. The paint on the head looks actually pretty well done. Got a very more stylized bit of hair there. We've got some greater paint details here. We got some light gray up at the top there. We got all that stuff. The harness. Little pads here. Little butt crack part of the harness. That's got it. You know what? One of the jobs that I do, I'm in a cherry picker and I have to wear a harness. That would really not feel good if that was actually used as a harness the way, it looks like it's supposed to be. But anyway, we're going to do the articulation real fast. His head is on a ball joint, and like some of the other M.A.S.K figures, it really doesn't want to move very well. You might be able to hear that crunching sound. That sounds awful. Arm spins in 360 and hinges out. Waist does not spin, which is really sad because it does look like this one specifically could have been designed for that. The legs. All right, let's get back to this issue. We have a sculpted bit here, although it's not painted. That means that you cannot fold that leg out at all towards the side. However, in front, we do get he's got more of a bend than I think any other figure I've seen in this line. Yeah, I think his legs do fold out like... That is the best I've seen out of any of these so far for that. Of course, this other leg can go out all the way that way. There's no back. And then we have, of course, the bend in the knee. So Matt actually might be the first one here that could possibly have fit in the Rhino properly. But that being said, let's compare him to the original figure, which, by the way, I do not have a mask for this one. And I have no idea if there had been paint on there because this guy is so old, I think parts are starting to yellow. Put these guys back to back. The new one is just a breath taller at the head. Well, he's got a smaller head than the old one, but the body is taller to make up for it. It is thinner, better proportioned. Like, this is the thing. The figures actually look pretty good from the Loyal Subjects, It's just that they just so screwed up the articulation or the designs when they articulated them. They should never, ever have put anything up at the joint on these things. Not a thick sculpt like that. You could have had it be flat. That would have been fine. It would have worked okay. But yeah, I will say this again. The figure does look better. And it does actually move better than the previous ones did. Also, something else to note here, which is kind of interesting. Like I said, the difference is made up in the way the body's designed. So if we take a look here, you'll notice that the legs are just a little bit longer on the new one. And the torso itself is about the same size. And it's kind of hard to really go with that one because his crotch goes down further. But yeah. Oh. You can kind of see there what I'm talking about, though, with the torso. So that being said, that's going to cause an issue with this vehicle, I'm pretty sure. That being said, let's drop his mask on the floor and never find it again. All right, so we have the two Spectrum masks. I don't have anything to compare these two. But they did turn out nicely. Though again, we put the bigger one on. Fits just fine. Comes off easy. Has a little effect. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the effects. The other mask fits just fine. Comes off easy. Just out of curiosity. It even fits on the old figure. That being said, it's probably time that we take a look at our vehicle. Sorry, I was playing with the accessory. Alright, so as before, we will just take a look at this without actually doing the stickers yet. While we're at it, let's take a comparison here, 1-to-1, side by side. You'll notice that the big different detail here is that we actually do have rear view mirrors on the new one. And the button is higher on the top. Also, the pins look a little bit nicer on the new one than the old one for that middle section, which will be covered by a sticker. As we take a look at the sides, the sculpting on this part here is different. It's a little bit more streamlined looking to me. They did not use vac metal, and the actual hubcaps or rims do divot in where they're flat here. The tires say Tracker on them, I believe. Yeah, these ones actually do say Goodyear. They are pretty fluffy too. Let me see. The rubber on these tires is a lot more. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is misformed right there. Yeah, the tire doesn't sit very well on that one. I don't know if that's a problem with the rim or the tire itself. Probably the tire itself. Huh. Well, anybody surprised that there's a problem with the quality control on these? At this point, I'll be surprised if there isn't a quality control issue. Also, it comes pre-scratched on the window. Yeah, this toy is like, what, 40 years old? 30 years old? 35 years old? Whatever. You expect it to be scratched up. This just came out of the box, like, what, 5 minutes ago? Look at all the scratches on it. I haven't even touched the windshield. So to activate it, now, what I've seen is that you press down, whoops, once part of the way and the doors come open, and all the way and the back comes open. And then we see the jets here. And the wings already don't want to. God. They don't stay up very well. Yeah, I know. My old toy is also the same way. Again. 25 or 35 to 40 years old. 6 months. Something seems off about the doors on the new one, too, for some reason. I'm not sure why. But that all looks pretty good. Now, of course, the way to deal with that, though, with the doors, on the old one at least, what you would do. So you see, this is the spring here. You just have to kind of like pull it out a bit. Not sure how well this is working on this one. But if we do that, hopefully, that'll make it so that the doors actually look like they're opening correctly. I'm going to hate doing this, but take a look at this. So, this little hook part here is designed a little differently too. It seems like it's a little bit longer. And then this part here looks like it's a little bit shorter. So let's see if that improved this at all. Okay. Everything appears to be clipped into place. Can't say I'm surprised. You know, out of all the things that they could have done, they could have improved this mechanism a little bit more. But okay. That goes back down. Wings out. Pull those out to make it a little bit longer. And boom, this is how it flies. We have the little blast effects here on the back. To plug in. They appear to be... Yeah, they are exactly the same. So we got that. Yay. Huh. So now we have the little missiles that go in the bottom. Alright, so in order to activate those, originally you pressed in the thrusters, so... Yep, it still does that. Now we have the new disc launcher thing. Now, these two things were very easily lost, which is one of the reasons why Machina, or Ramen Toys with their Machina line of figures, had actually given us those to go with the original ones. Okay. Do both of these... You know, I should open up the instructions here, shouldn't I? Alright, so that goes like that. Oh, I'm going to hate this thing. Because I think... You know what? And this is exactly what I did. Good Lord. For the love of Christ. Oh my God. You barely even have to touch this thing and... Alright. Let's try this. Ow. I guess when it works, it works. Launches both at once. I thought maybe. Like, this is kind of weird. Because I thought maybe they... Oh, I hate this thing. And this just attaches to here. Somehow. Well, it's got to go in like this. Ah, there we go. So that's how the front disc launcher goes in place. So obviously it's not something that you're going to have on there the whole time. Boom. So that's kind of stupid. I'm not a big fan of that. All right. So here's the part that everybody wants to know, I'm sure. How well does the figure actually fit in the vehicle? Oh, for Christ's sake. Damn, that is a tight-ass hole. I've got the sense of humor of a 5-year-old. All right. So let's see how well Matt fits in here with his mask on. And we gotta make sure we get the belt out. All right. So you guys seeing this? Man, he can't even freaking sit in there straight. What is causing... Oh, it's his head. His head's on the fucking spring. Oh, for crying. Okay. So we got Matt Tracker in there like this. He's sitting straight. Before his head was being pushed in by the other thing. You know what? I'm not even going to bother buckling that thing at this point. Oh, look at that. We actually got him in there. Get rid of those stupid facts. Okay, so it took a little more finagling than I would have liked, but he's in there, and it is closed all the way. That right there just surprises me to start with. But let's go ahead and activate his, yeah. That sucked balls. All right. Everything's back in place. Oh, look, they painted the silver on the mirrors. Shiny. Let's try again. Oh, dear God. Okay. The wings are in place. The figure's in place. Let's close the door. Let's try it again. Hey, it worked. So what was that? 2 out of 3 times the figure's head being in there knocked the spring out of whack from the door. And again, the doors don't stay up very well. This myth is busted. Yeah. Just out of curiosity. As I've been known to do recently. No problems with the old figure. Actually, okay, so maybe that's not entirely fair. So let's go ahead and try again. Move the mat. Sit him down. It works better without the mask than with the mask. Just really quick here, I wanted to show you guys. Reassembly. So it just lets you know when there are problems how to fix them, because they knew this was going to happen a lot. So let's go ahead and do these stickers. My least favorite part. On the plus side, there shouldn't be anything that goes inside of this bad boy. And most of them are pretty obvious. So we got the big old hood sticker. That one. Oh. Oh, that is surprising because that went in beautifully. That was like perfect. Oh, I'm just trying to look at the directions here too. So this, yeah, this one goes on this side. Goes this way. I don't know, this doesn't feel right. I mean, it looks right, but it doesn't feel right. Oh man, this is, I don't like this one. Okay, that went in nicely. We gotta do those to the back. So again, start from the back. There we go. Those went in nicely. The spoiler. Okay, there's a slight curve at the front of the spoiler. See, we're not centered. No. All right, so we need that to be just a little further over than where we had it. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. And it's not exactly straight. See, this was nice up here because it had the perfect little groove in there. That's what's really missing from a lot of these vehicles. That being said, we got that little groove on here now. So number 9 goes on this side, which I guess should have been obvious. Not great, but this one, the sticker is just a little bit too big in spots. In case you're wondering why I'm not talking, I'm actually holding my breath while I do these. I can't get this one off. Again, this one is just a tad too big. Although, I think the cut on it's better than the cut on the first one. Alright, we got the M.A.S.K logo that needs to go back here. The M.A.S.K license plate. There we go. Alright, number 5 goes on the side here. Freaking. Ugh. I don't like this at all. You need to have like the hands of a surgeon to put some of these in here. That's not perfectly centered in there, and I can't really do anything about that. Let's try it again. Again, part of the problem is that these stickers are just that much too big that they don't really want to sit in there quite right. Sticker number 7 goes over here. Again, we got the nice little groove in there, so hopefully this will line up perfectly. Like so. A couple of the only stickers that are still on the original one that I have. I don't think this one really matters which way it goes. It's just mostly meant to hide that stuff. So I'm surprised they just didn't give us a red sticker. I mean, the original toy didn't have just a red sticker either, but... Ah, man. And look, if you push it down too hard, you actually get the outline of the little pins. And again, this time the sticker is kind of smaller than the spot it goes in. So what can we say about this? Well, it's definitely has less issues than the Rhino had. At least my copy does. The stickers definitely are sized better for this one than on the Rhino. Though, again, the spring-loaded doors, they work bad. It's not that much different, though, from the original, if I'm being honest. I don't want to just bash stuff to bash it. But overall, it still works about the same as the original did. There definitely needed to be more work done, though, on that spring mechanism. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't have found a better way to do it, or even given us, like, a double spring. Like, something that simple, you know, and maybe making that clip on the door a little bit bigger so it could hold 2 springs. So that way, you know, it has that extra force behind it in order to get those wings lifted up. Like right now, I've just got the one opened, kind of showcase both sides, you know, open and closed. And it stays up really well like that because the one door is holding it in open better. You know what I mean? I do think the rear view mirrors, like, they don't look like they weigh a whole lot, but they might also be contributing to it because it is still additional weight on the doors and on that stupid little spring. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but they did actually mold windshield wipers into the windshield on this one, which the original toy didn't have either, which is cool. Like, overall, the update isn't too bad, though I don't like the way you stick the blast effects into the jets in the back. Remember, the jets are spring-loaded to work the missile launchers. So you're basically forcing those springs in whenever you go ahead and try to put those on because that's the only way you can plug them in there. Adding the disc launcher, it's not a bad idea. And apparently that did show up in an episode. I don't remember it, but other people have mentioned that it has. So I will take their word for it. But the fact that it sticks that far out in front is just kind of annoying. It is kind of too bad. I guess on the plus side, you can put both discs in there and launch them both at one time or just one at a time, but there's nothing in there to clip them in place. So they're just going to slip out anyway if you're playing with it. So you can literally only put those on when it launches. And that trigger mechanism is like a hair trigger. So that's not good either. Matt here does fit in much better than any of the other figures have. I guess Brad Turner technically fits fine in the Condor, but that's because it's a motorcycle. But even then, we kind of had some issues when it transformed too. As far as this goes, I would say that this may be the best one I've looked at so far in the lineup, which I guess technically isn't saying much. Out of all the vehicles I've done so far, the Thunderhawk is probably my number 1 best one so far. The Condor is second and the Rhino is dead last. Like, the Thunderhawk and Condor has lapped it like 5 times over. You know what I mean? Just because of the quality control issues. So if you're thinking about getting any of these vehicles, so far, this one I would say is your best bet. The figure actually does fit in there pretty well, but don't forget, if he's wearing his mask, chances are when you go to activate the door, it's going to come loose because of him and his mask. But the figure does fit in this better than the figure fit in the Rhinos, you know? But why don't you guys let me know what you think about the Thunderhawk in the comments below. Did you like it? Are you considering buying it? Did you already buy it? And of course, did you order the anniversary edition black and gold ones, which I did, and I'm actually regretting that because of the Rhino so far. It's also kind of sad that doesn't come with Scott and T-Bob, to be honest, but that's a whole different story. But if you enjoyed this review, please feel free to smash that like button, and if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.